when we give God thanks, it keeps us humble. Keeps us humble. It keeps us from getting cocky. It keeps us from getting arrogant. It keeps everything in perspective. He's the almighty creator God, and we are just weak, frail human beings. It reminds us that He and He alone is worthy of all the glory and all the honor. And that brings me to my last thought that I want to share with you, and that is thanksgiving should be a regular part of our prayer life. Now go to Colossians again. We were in chapter 2 looking at verses 6 and 7. I want you to go to chapter 4 and look at verse 2. Colossians chapter 4 and verse 2 says, "Continue in prayer and watch in the same with" what? Thanksgiving. Prayer is not just about constantly asking God for something. I believe some Christians believe that all prayer is about is just asking, 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 asking. There is a side of prayer that is about asking. I get that. But I believe right here, by marrying these two concepts of prayer and thanksgiving together in Colossians 4 and verse 2, Paul is telling us that giving thanks for what God has already done in our lives ought to be a part of our prayer life. I want to challenge you to take the time to sit down and write things that you are thankful to God for. Do that. We talk about prayer journals. Maybe we ought to have Thanksgiving journals, right? Prayer journals, we write down all the things we want from God. I need this, God. I want this, God. God, you need to solve this problem. God, please take care of this burden. Okay, what about a Thanksgiving journal, where we thank God for what He has already done in our lives? What we did at our Thanksgiving service on Tuesday night is something that we ought to do more often. You remember how during the choir song I challenged you to come and to write on the whiteboards. We had boards down front, and to write something that you were thankful for. By the way, over 180 people got up out of their seats and came forward and wrote down things that they were thankful for. I really enjoyed going back and reading some of those things. I laughed at one. It said, "I am thankful for the firm foundation I have in Christ and pumpkin pie." So, you know, we got to be thankful even for the simple things in life. Keep a list of things that you're thankful for. For me, it's things like my salvation, the opportunity I have to serve the Lord. I'm thankful for my Bible. I'm thankful for my church, the Canton Baptist Temple. I'm thankful for my godly parents, Les and Bonnie Frazier. I'm thankful for a wonderful wife, Rachel. She made quite a feast on Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for the health of my family. I'm thankful for the political freedom that we enjoy in the United States of America. I'm thankful for our military personnel that continue to protect that freedom on a daily basis. On and on the list could go. But you know, it's important for us to sit down occasionally and write down the things that we are grateful for. Why is that? Because Thanksgiving is not just a one day out of the year event. It's supposed to be a daily attitude. Every day we're supposed to be thankful. It's supposed to be a part of our prayer life where we don't just ask God for more things, but rather we take the time to thank Him for what He's already done in our lives, and thank Him for all the blessings that He has poured out in our lives. If you look carefully again at Colossians 2, verse 6 and 7, I believe again that you'll understand godly people give thanks. Those who have been saved by receiving Christ, those who are walking in Christ, they're spiritually growing, and they're rooted and they're built up and they're established, they will what? Abound with thanksgiving. They'll be overflowing with thanksgiving. So here's a question today. If you are not a very thankful person, instead you complain and you're never happy, you're never content about anything, just maybe you are not a godly person. It's a thought for you. Because godly people are people who are content and they're thankful for what God is doing in their lives. The challenge today, even though Thanksgiving is over, in a sense, Thanksgiving is not over, right? The day is over. The special day that we've set aside, it's done. We may have some leftover turkey in the fridge, but ultimately, Thanksgiving is never done. Thanksgiving ought to be perpetual because God's blessings are perpetual. God just keeps blessing us day after day after day. And because of His abounding blessings, we ought to be abounding in our thanksgiving back to Him. Amen. Can we make that commitment today? I want to be a thankful Christian. I want to be a content Christian because that is what a godly person does.